Alright everybody, we're jumping right in. This is Bell Outright Occult Gaming, and today we are playing Darksiders Warmastered Edition on Apocalyptic difficulty. I decided to just go ahead and get to the action and teleport to the broken stair to find this last Armageddon, the second to last Armageddon blade piece. So let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And today is post commentary once more, but don't let that fool you. This part is action, action, action. Let's go ahead and pick up this gun here. And bust a couple caps and some angels. You don't get to say that too often, do you? I don't either, so I'm gonna enjoy it while I can. Yeah, and I figured, at least at the time when I was playing this, I figured, might as well jump into the action straight up. Because we had spent quite some time looking for collectibles. And we're still doing that, but just moving at a faster pace now. And this is actually what I was talking about earlier in the playthrough, when I mentioned the Horde. But it looks like you actually have to revisit in order to make them appear. Like that. What is that? Trombone? We have cleared this building of the zombie infestation. Yeah, I really dig the gunplay in this game. I can't wait to see what they do with Darksiders 4. In terms of the gunplay, making it even more organic and putting more emphasis on it. Here the guns were just kind of like a side thing, and they really did a good job with integrating them into the gameplay. Pick up his gun. He dropped it through the level apparently. But this is an awesome area to come back to.
For the light.
And get to blow all these angels up. Take all these pigeons down a peg. And in this one, I'm still using a scythe because I'm trying to level it up. And it barely tickled. Barely tickled. These angels obviously don't understand that I am wearing the abyssal armor. I get health back just from attacking him. With anything, I can attack him in any way. I get HP back. And not just that, but the defense for that armor is off the charts. Yeah, put him on his knees with that car. Just chuck the car at his head. That move where you dash forward and you throw the scythe forward, that little spin, extremely satisfying. The weapons in this game are so damn crunchy. And here, even though I wanted to use the gun, I figured I'll just use the scythe just to get more weapon experience. One thing you gotta keep in mind when you're going for an all achievement run. Gotta try to multitask. And that was a challenge about this playthrough, was trying to do everything at once and record,
Horseman approaches.
and trying to make it entertaining, very difficult. Very fun too, a nice exercise in micromanaging and multitasking. Here it looks like I'm discovering the joys of the charge attack. That attack is actually pretty strong. Alright, and we see our Armageddon blade. The shard anyway. And we pretty much cleaned this place out earlier, so there's no need to explore it any further. Just go ahead and pick up this piece and call it a day. Alright, and we just got one more Armageddon blade piece left. So we got 6 shards so far. And initially I must have read this or something. And I'll probably have to edit this out because it looks like I went to go maybe take a bathroom break or something. So this will likely be edited out. So that means I can say anything. Oh, never mind. Alright. What was next? So apologies in advance. It has been about a week and a half since I actually did beat the game, and of course the game didn't record my live commentary. The unfortunate side effect of that is I can't remember exactly what I was doing in these episodes, so I'm basically kind of watching along with you guys and commenting on what I see and what I can remember anyway. But one of the unfortunate side effects too is that one of the just unfortunate aspects about my recording schedule is I can't always record when I want to. So I'm only able to do a few of these voiceover recordings in a day, and only a few in a week. So I can't record as fast as I want to. That was a pretty neat trick. And right here I'm just getting as many horseback mods as I can when I can. There's really not enough opportunity to use the horse, to be honest. But they do expect you to get that they don't expect you to get the achievement, but that is one of the achievements, is to ride 100 miles on horseback, which is a fair bit ridiculous, seeing as you'll naturally only get about, if you're lucky, maybe 20 miles on that horse. And you know what? 20 miles is that's not even fair. Like you'll really naturally only get maybe 4 miles on that horse. Like if you just play the game like normal, you probably only get about maybe 4 or 5 miles on that horse if you're lucky. And that's a lot of miles. Alright, looks like we got our World Raider trophy. And that of course signifies that we found every artifact in the game. And this one I ended up getting this one because I actually took the scenic route, which is a good strategy for you as you're looking for Armageddon blade pieces. It does help you get things you might have forgotten on your initial run through. So I typically pride myself on being thorough with picking up collectibles and things like that, but there's some stuff I forget. It's quite a bit of stuff I forget. And this episode actually has even more of that. This episode has a lot of stuff I forgot. Actually, there's some stuff here, if I'm not mistaken. Quite a bit of stuff here I forgot. Unless I already did that part with the Armageddon piece, which I might have. Another thing you want to do if you want to get all your achievements is you want to get a certain number of horseback kills. I believe it's 150. I think you want to get 150 horseback kills. So definitely nest that throughout the game to make your life easier. I mean, if you're grinding, if you're actually grinding for the 100-mile horse achievement, you'll eventually get it if you stick to the Ashlands and you go back and forth through the lower level of the Ashlands between where they kept the Stygian and where the Phantom Horsemen are. If you go through there and kill the enemies as you see them, you'll eventually get the enemies killed too, and you'll eventually get your 100 miles achievement. My strategy is to get as many kills as I possibly can throughout the game on horseback, and then I'll do the strategy I just said, going through the Ashlands and killing the moose there. And then what I'll do is I get the enemy kills long before I hit the 100-mile achievement. So I'll do that, and then you'll actually see the strategy I actually did later in this playthrough. So I'll hold it until you guys see it there. And as you can see, these the bats have been upgraded. The most dangerous things about these lime green bats, or these aquamarine bats, is their spit attack. Normal bats don't have that spit attack. And this is likely when I start considering the impact of the serpent holes, and the fact that treasures can be found in this particular area. At least I believe this is where I figured that out. Doesn't look like it though. I guess I'm just using it. What's this? Is this after I figured out the serpent hole stuff? Alright, we got 2,000 souls for the artifacts we had. I think I'm just gonna get all the weapons. I mean all the techniques. Weapon techniques for the sword, most likely. Which is surprisingly expensive.
Did you come all this way? You drive too hard a bargain.
Hey, 11,000 souls. Well, ended up costing about 8,000. A little under 8,000. Alright, and we got our last abyssal sword piece. And of course, it wouldn't be an episode of me switching the words Abyssal and Armageddon around. This is actually the Armageddon blade, so.
This is no ambush, horseman. I come alone. I, Uriel of the Hellguard, champion of the White City, call you, horseman, to Nex Sacramentum.
Fool.
I lay claim to your life before the Creator. Will you dishonor this law as well?
Why?
Because Abaddon said you understood honor, and because he was the best of us.
The death oath cannot be broken until one falls by the hand of the other. I accept.
Yeah, war is fairly honorable.
You underestimate.
Now this fight is actually a pretty tough fight. She has quite a lot of HP, a lot of area of effect attacks, like this one. And it does a lot of damage. Luckily, I'm utilizing iframes and I have the Abyssal armor. But if I didn't have the Abyssal armor, she would do a lot more damage. And she has a lot of mobility as well. Most of the damage with her will come from her sword attacks, as well as her ground pound. You'll see that ground pound in a bit. She keeps high in the air. That one. I think this is it. Nope, this is it. You gotta keep in mind too, the Abyssal armor actually increases the amount of damage I do as well. So this is, I'm putting down a lot of damage on this character and she's not falling. And this is a battle, this is a true battle of attrition with her if you don't have the Abyssal armor. It's so goofy to me. That's why I typically don't use it. But it's a pretty decent move. This is me just really just being lackadaisical about everything because you know when you got the Abyssal armor, there's really no need to dodge. She actually didn't do the ground pound in this fight. I believe she has one though.
Yes, yes. What are you waiting for? Harvest this wench. What? Don't you dare walk away from me.
The next sacramentum is mine. I decide when the angel dies. Not you.
You swore an oath to me.
Abaddon is the destroyer.
Liar!
To protect
This is an
you, he
interesting
kept you
effect.
from the truth. You pledged to follow your lord into hell, never knowing what awaited you, or what he would become.
Abaddon.
He was betrayed and became the enemy of all creation. I've been to the tree. Its gift was truth, and I share it with you now. Remember the death oath. Soon it must be fulfilled.
Remember the death oath. It must be fulfilled. And you guys should remember it. So I did forget this Lifestone Shard initially, but we got it. And we got the full power achievement because we have every Lifestone Shard in the game. And that's as much HP as we can possibly get. And War is a very neat character. I really dig him.
That's it. The last piece of that accursed blade. Now, get back to Ulthane and
Alright, and
finish
before we
this
get to
business.
Ulthane, we'll of course see if we can uncover even more secrets, such as those Wrath core pieces, Wrath stone shards. Now, War is a really interesting individual because by all means, he should just be like a meathead, pretty much. He should just be a one-note character. But he's actually, I don't know. I actually don't remember what I was doing here. Maybe checking out the trophies. Yeah, checking out the trophies. 57%. Yep. So I didn't remember if I had all the Wrath cores. So I'm thinking about going back to that one and getting all the powers and just considering what I have to do to get all the achievements. So I guess what I was doing here was strategizing. And of course, there was commentary originally, but this darn program doesn't want to record right. But with War, I find him fascinating because he's probably the most unique and the most true to the concept like I've ever seen in a character. Like most people just make, when it comes to War, just an angry, you know, kind of meathead sort of thing, like a rage monster. But War is intelligent, strategic, and quite collected for most of the game. The comics flesh him out. From what I hear, the comics flesh him out even more so, and make the you know, the rage part of his personality more prominent. But in the games, you know, even that's there, but it's a lot more understated than the rest of his personality. So War is pretty interesting. Like, I definitely want to see another game with this particular character. And I can see him being a leader for the Horsemen. Now he's not the Horsemen's leader. That honor belongs to Death. But War himself is very capable when it comes to level-headedness and battle smarts. And yeah, just taking a long way and getting opportunities to train our weapons. And again, I come across several secrets here. Yep. And it looks like I figured out that secret. But again, taking a long way helps you find secrets when you come back with power-ups. And the strategy I'd actually recommend is to come back and explore every time you get a new power-up. Just kind of go back through the world and, you know, see what else that you might have left behind. It definitely helps on apocalyptic mode. Yeah, my strategy here was to optimize everything, so I wanted to wait until the end before I did too much exploration. I didn't want to have a series that was like 30 episodes long or 50 episodes long. And that lingering hitbox. And that horrible camera. Yeah, I was trying to cram everything into like one sitting, basically. Okay, so the puzzle seemed fairly straightforward, but the key here is to actually let the gate rise. See here, I'm letting it take all day, and I end up actually missing it. Because it didn't have enough time to actually get all the way to the top. So the key, let it go up all the way, then hit the thing you do right there is good. It doesn't have to be completely all the way, but it has to be towards the top. So I got it right before it fell. And right here we get Death's Blessing. Pulsing with strange dark energy, this unholy sigil bears the mark of war's brother, Death. So I think that gets us all 4 of the legendary enchantments, which are all based on the 4 horsemen. So we're going to take another look at it and its effects. In Death's Blessing, leeches weapon damage and converts it to health. So I'm looking at all the. It also increases weapon damage, drastically increases the amount of souls acquired from objects and creatures. Additional soul rewards when assigned to the scythe. So it's a much better version of several of the enhancements we already have, and it goes best in the scythe. So. Only thing it doesn't do is increase weapon experience. It may do that because it does have extra benefits for the scythe. So maybe it does that for the scythe. I'm not sure. It doesn't explicitly say that, but it is a great accessory for the scythe. And it is great for soul farming as well. As you can see, the damage upgrade from the scythe is already taken into effect. We're stun locking this enemy more with our scythe attacks. See, like that. Basically getting a kill with the scythe in order to get more souls. And we're also multitasking and getting as much horse time as we possibly can. What I'm actually going to be glad about in the future is not having to worry about achievements. So I think I do want to do another run of the game. Just in regards to lore and gameplay. Because this series, as I'm replaying it, it's really it's like really kind of becoming one of my favorites of all time. Like, it's really jumped. Like, I've always really liked the series, but I would never say that I was a fanboy of the series. Like I'm a fanboy of series such as Legacy of Kain, and what else would I say? Legacy of Kain, and like the Shin Megami series. Like those are top notch to me. But really, upon replaying this and Darksiders 2 and playing 3, I really like these games, and I really want to kind of devote some time to like learning the lore and exploring the games even deeper than I already have. And that's due to it kind of, it reaches something in you, like inside of you, and it speaks to you. And this game manages to do that on quite a few levels. But mainly I respect the developers at Vigil and Gunfire Games and their strict adherence to the lore they've established. Like they aren't like rewriting that lore, man. They're going with the lore they already established, and I really enjoy that. And we're just getting bits and pieces of stuff they've already established and are expanding upon. So we're coming to the Ashlands here. I don't quite remember if there were more secrets here. I don't believe there are. I'm likely gonna come here in order to grind up for a few achievements. Oh, you know what? There were some secrets here I did get. Oh no, we got our secrets. That's right, we did get our secrets. One thing to do here now is to get our weapon achievements. Weapon and horse achievements. So it looks like I'm on the way to Silica's lair. Using this badass soul bridge, which is oh so conveniently placed. You would think that the horsemen's horses could fly anyway. And this enemy is pretty interesting because it's not always here. It's a rare spawn, it seems like. I don't know what triggers it. I do know that the fact that those blasts knock you off your horse. Oh, that pisses me off. Equipping a gun. And make this even easier. You can equip Strife's offering to make your guns and ranged weapons in general do more damage. But you can only use the gun on horseback as far as projectiles go. I don't know how come I can't hit this guy. I normally don't have too much trouble. There. The trick to hitting that guy is actually to like get your horse's head to touch his horse, and once you do that, you'll likely hit him. Okay, now this area, Silica's lair, I guess we'll just the Iron Canopy. That's what it's called. So this area had a ton of secrets that I just left behind. A lot of treasure. I just did not go back and look for it. So there's a lot of stuff here. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on that floor alone. 6, 7. There might have been 8. But yeah, that shocked me when I saw that. I was like, wow, 7 treasure chests? That is nuts. Like, how did I leave all that behind? And the answer was quite easily. Most of it was actually health and wrath chests. But others were secrets that I just didn't, because I didn't go back and look through the level. And I hadn't found the Horseseeker map. But since we have Fury's Embrace, it does reveal information on the map, treasure information, things like that. So Fury's Embrace, very awesome. But I did make the promise to come back here. I just hadn't come back here yet until now. But Iron Canopy is a place you're going to want to come to anyway in order to level your weapons up to the max level, because this place has the most amount of enemies that you can fight, like here, these spiders, and they respawn pretty easily. This is the best place to grind weapons and souls, in my opinion. That's a great place to get the Devastator achievement as well. That's the achievement. You'll want to kill, I believe it's 10 spiders at once with a Blade Geyser. You specifically have to use Blade Geyser, so you'll want to get that to probably level 2. Because level 1 won't cut it. So you'll want to at least do level 2, but any higher levels will ensure that you hit with that. You just have to lure them all. You can get that achievement there or down below. Those are the 2 best places to gather all 10 spiders. Here's a great place to train the Tremor Gauntlet. Just like that. Draw those slow. So you get a lot of weapon experience for that. One attack, because you're hitting multiple spiders with it, that's where you're building up so much experience. Alright, and as you can see, there's 3 treasures on this map. Holy cow. How did I basically leave 3 treasures? Seemed like we were looking all through this part of the level before and we couldn't see anything. Turns out there's actually a grapple point right up there, but you can't see it unless you're looking for it. See? And it's actually kind of glitched out. So I ended up struggling here to get up here because there's a bar in the window. Now you won't be able to just get this without making a jump. Yeah, so you'll want to make a leap first, like I try to do there. But you'll want to actually do it. You want to actually leap up and grapple the orb there. I eventually figured this out, but not before a bunch of complaining and wondering why this particular mechanic is so buggy. But yeah, just jump. Jumping will do it. But it was pretty obtuse, the fact that he couldn't just get up there with that. Made me think I was doing it wrong. Like that's not how you wanted to do it, but I figured it out. And I think this is gonna be either a map or a Horseseeker. Probably the Horseseeker. Yep, that's gonna be the Horseseeker. So if you want to find all your treasure before you get Fury's Embrace, you want to find that Horde Seeker. Alright, and as you can see, we got even more treasure chests that we have not even touched. So that was 3. That leaves 4 for us to get. We got our scythe level up, and that's gonna be level 2, I believe. Which makes our scythe much stronger, because level up in this game, and it matters. I actually wish that the system in the sequels was more similar to this system when it comes to the weapons. Like I love Darksiders too, but that weapon system wasn't a huge fan of, because it makes the weapons less special overall. I think they missed the opportunity to maybe, I don't know, because in the end it worked out. The Darksiders 2 weapon system, in the end, it ends up feeling quite okay, but I think they just could have did more with the enhancements so that the weapons feel more special. I think they sacrificed too much of the weapons feeling special in favor of kind of that feeling of. And this is a Wrath shard right here. They kind of sacrificed a bit more in the sequel, with the weapons feeling special, like they did in this one. I like just leveling the weapons up, because essentially what it comes down to is the same thing anyway. The weapons in number 2, you have different classes and they all play. The weapons in the same class play the same, with slight differences. There are slight differences between say claws and like fists. There are slight differences, I believe. Like I believe claws and arm blades or something like that. But for the most part, you have like 3 or 4 different weapon types. You just pick up different weapons with various effects. But I like this one where each of the weapons feels very special and unique. You just level them up by using them. Whichever one you use more, whichever one you're a bigger fan of, that one gets stronger. In the sequel, you have possessed weapons that can get stronger if you feed them other weapons, or you can simply get stronger weapons. You just pick up stronger weapons than ones you got. Again, that system does work for 2, but they could have probably benefited more from a system that just expanded on what was here. If they wanted loot drops, they could have had like the artifacts be loot drops, the enhancements, I should say, be loot drops. Because that's kind of what it comes down to with the weapons, is that some weapons in number 2 have different effects, which benefit you in different ways. The weapons themselves act more like enhancements than because there really aren't any enhancements in the second one. You have talismans, but all your equipment has enhancement effects. And enhancements actually come back in number 3, so it's strange how experimental they are with the various gameplay. But here I actually did discover this. That's gonna be a greater rage. So for me, those types of objects aren't all that special. I don't really use those items, but they do come in handy when you're in a pinch. Alright, and we're trying to figure out what else we gotta get from here. I gotta tell you guys though, I'm not a huge fan of post commentary. I'm really not, because I think you lose something from when you're making comments live. Like you can gain something by, you know, by watching it, by going through an experience and then commenting on that experience. But I think it's just so much more effective when you're commenting on something you are experiencing. So you do experience it together. So I feel like this post commentary for this episode, there is something missing to it, because I don't know, like this here, this level here is just so dope, so interesting. And apologies, I cannot remember what I was doing here. Guess I'm trying to get back to the other area. Try to figure that out. And all the spiders have respawned. Now there were some treasure chests on the inside from what I saw on the map. So maybe that's what I'm going off to go do. Gather all the pretties and murder them dead. And that is so satisfying. Man, the weapons in this game are super duper satisfying. So, okay. So we got the fist at level 2 and also the scythe at level 2. So maybe what I'm doing here is I'm gonna grind for a bit. This is probably me showing you guys my grinding method for getting the weapons up. And I think we're gonna do this until the end of the episode. So I'm just gonna show you guys what I do to grind the weapon up. And all we do is we go down, we come through here, we gather the spiders, and we kill them all. So that's going to be grindy method for here. Now there is a better grinding method, and I do show you guys that later. Which by later, I'm probably going to show you guys in the very next episode. I did have an episode where I literally grinded for 30 minutes, but I don't think I'm gonna air that. And if any of you guys are thinking something dirty, then you should definitely get your mind out of the gutter. So the reason I'm not gonna show you a 30-minute grind is because it's boring as shit. So we're just gonna avoid that altogether. do have about maybe 8 minutes of me trying to get to level 3 with the fist. I think that's what I was like adamant about doing. Was at least getting to level 3 with the fist before I grinded off camera. Now, there's a couple ideas that I presented that I didn't get to finish. Yeah, War being an interesting character. Yeah, War is pretty intelligent, and I can't wait for you guys who are not familiar with the series. I can't wait for you guys to see Death in action. Death is a really cool character as well. What I find interesting too is how each of the horsemen's weapons end up in the hands of other horsemen. Like they all like share their equipment with each other, or they each have imitations of one another's equipment. For instance, in this one, Death gets, or War I should say, gets Death's Harvester, and he also gets enchantment, which has the enchantment is likely gameplay only, but the scythe might not be. And the gun that War gets from Ulthane, that is the gun of his brother Strife. That gun is, I don't know if it's Strife's real gun or if it's an imitation of Strife's real gun, but War actually gets that. That's actually in the story where War gets that gun. And in the sequel, Death ends up getting War's Pauldron, which gives him some pretty interesting effects early on. And he also gets another of Strife's guns. So yeah, it just and that's not much of a spoiler, I would say. And then in 3, Fury gets what does Fury get? Fury doesn't get much from her brothers. Does she get anything from her brothers? I actually can't think of anything she gets from her brothers. So she might be the only one who doesn't get anything. Just trying to see how quickly they actually respawn. They only respawn when you go past. Nope. You have to go all the way past. There's a certain pillar down there. You guys will figure that out, which one it is. Hopefully I'll be able to point it out to you. You have to go all the way past that pillar right there. Yep. So there it is. Once you hear that clicking sound, that's when you know they respawn. By habit, I always end up going way past the pillar. I think one of the faults with the game is that it does require a bit too much grinding without a fun reason to do so. If they had a challenge arena, that would have actually alleviated a lot of the problems that the game had when it comes to getting achievements. With the weapons, it would have made maxing out the weapons a lot more fun. And getting those final achievements with the you could have like horseback challenges as well as melee challenges. So I think that's the maybe the only thing like missing from this run of the game. I just have the feel that this game, look at these bastards being annoying. I just have the feel that the game was it was meant to be like a very straightforward, streamlined experience. And I respect the hell out of that. Like, they stuck to their guns and made something like that. That's incredible. But I think they could have spent some time just expanding a lot of the stuff with the game. So they could, I believe they could have expanded on the gameplay. I believe they definitely could have expanded upon the story. Because one of the criticisms I have with the story is that it's all, there's not a ton of setup for anything. Like, it's all just like wham bam boom, event after event. You get downtime in terms of world exploration, but you don't get downtime in the story. You don't get time to breathe and to kind of settle in with War as a character. So you don't really get to connect with him like that. Like, you might feel sympathy for him and his mission, but you don't really get to connect with him, which creates kind of a disconnect in you caring about whether he succeeds or fails. Like, you're not as invested as you would be otherwise. So I think an opportunity was missed there in the story, and just the opportunity to kind of delve into the lore a bit more. Two delves into the lore much more than one does, and 3 also, I would say, delves into lore a little more than number 1 does. There we go. We are turn around to level 3. So that's likely gonna end the episode. Next time, we're actually getting close to closing out. So I believe we have 2 more episodes left. I think we have 1 more of picking up stuff and grinding, and then we got our finale. If not 2, then 3 is the max. We don't have much more than 3. So I do appreciate you guys for watching. Definitely thanks for supporting the channel. I definitely want you guys to take care.